Today is Friday, November 19th, 2010, day 3 of the Blue Carp experiment. I am David K. Williams Jr., but you can call me Dave, solamente Dave. Day 3, as I said, and I still have no idea what I'm doing, but thank you very much for all the input, and Lena specifically. I'm going to do my best to remember to look into the camera more. And yeah, I am kind of growing this Grizzly Adams thing. People have commented on that, and it's winter time, starting to get a little bit cold, so I'm going to let it grow a little bit, and we'll see how it looks. Grizzly, probably. What's going on in the world today? This TSA tyranny story just won't go away. And allow me to point out, as a quick aside, that the TSA was created and signed into law by a Republican president, George W. Bush. Just another example of how both wings of this two-party duopoly want more government control over you as an individual. Well, let's look at today's TSA story in the Denver Post, and I'll quote from it on the front page. It says, "Airline passengers, unnerved by pat-downs, which are offered as an alternative to advanced imaging scanners that perform a kind of electronic strip search, want some assurances that the strangers cleared to run gloved hands across their bodies have been well vetted." End quote. So apparently it's okay to be sexually assaulted if the government lackey doing it has passed a background check. Now, this is a direct quote from the TSA, also mentioned in that article. Quote, "It is TSA's policy not to hire sexual offenders," unquote. Well, that's a good policy, but of course they have that policy because they're going to provide on-the-job training for them. You don't need any experience. There was another disturbing comment from a traveler in that article, a female. She said, quote, "I don't really like the pat-downs, but for security purposes, what are you going to do?" In other words, bah. Time for the quick daily Prince William and Kate Middleton wedding update? I don't care. Congressional Republicans want to stop unemployment benefits after a mere 99 weeks. My Congresswoman, Diana DeGette, or as Barack Obama referred to her as Diana DeJet. He's got to get those pronunciation guides for his fellow congressmen or his fellow Democrats. Diana DeGette said, quote, "I am extremely disappointed that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle stood in the way of extending a helping hand to Americans in need." End quote. Now, that's an excellent example, I believe, of that old political saying, quote, "From each according to his ability, to each according to his need." Who said that? Was that Jefferson? Madison? I don't recall. It's one of those guys, one of those political philosophers. The GOP also wants to cut NPR funding. Good. Now, as the stated supporters of NPR, they like to point out that NPR's funding comes largely from listener contributions and from corporate sponsors, and only a small part from the feds. Well, that's great. So the funding it isn't even going to hurt NPR. So let's do it. I'm Dave Williams. You can follow me on my blog, www.bluecarp.com. Follow me on Twitter @BlueCarp, or on Facebook.com like this /BlueCarp. And if you're interested in getting updates on what's happening at the Colorado legislature, follow me on Twitter there @Gadsden Society, and we'll let you know what's going on over there and how to contact your different representatives and senators, depending on what they're doing over there. Today's Friday, November 19th, 2010. I'm Dave Williams, and as always, let freedom ring.